Morning, all. I am starting off today with a look at the draft choice that is next on the list, and yet list got updated today. Elite Prospects updated their prospects list, so that changed the rankings of the average. So technically, right now, Alexander Holtz is number 7. And so, yeah, that's why I've got asterisks next to the average being number 7, and Elite Prospects having him at number 6 has caused him to jump up ahead of yesterday's prospect. Now, again, this draft is kind of all over the place. We'll see where it ends up. Alexander Holtz, right winger, 6 foot, 183 pounds. And looking at his overall talents, I look and I say, you know what, the Hawks could really use this guy. So if the Hawks don't win the play-in round, and if they draft, say, 8th or 7th or wherever he ends up going, Holtz would be, to me, it's a natural fit with the Blackhawks. But again, we'll see. This is something I'm doing this year that's different. And we'll see how many of these jerseys end up matching where the player actually ends up, right? Odds are very rarely, if ever, going to be correct. Now, his strengths: shooting accuracy, puck handling, speed, agility, and offensive. So offensive and defensive, their overall game is ranked. His offensive game is at near the top, and that's the first one I've seen where it's near the top. And it says a lot about just how good he is. And the shooting accuracy and puck handling are rated the highest of anybody in his draft class. So Holtz could be an absolute steal when he gets drafted. And I think that's going to be a term we throw around a lot this year, to the point where we just have to say, you know what, it's just a pretty good draft. Now, he's improved his defensive game as the year's gone on. So he's this offensive force, not used for defensive zone starts, not used in his own end a lot, used a lot on the power play, plays fourth line minutes, he's getting his time, but he has earned a lot of ice time as he's pushed his way up through the lineup. Now, he has a nose for the net. That's obvious from the prospect or the scouting reports I was reading on him. And really, in all honesty, he sounds like he's going to be fantastic and projects as an elite scorer. So the expectations on Holtz are going to be high, even though he's not considered a top 3 prospect, and yet he's going to be projected out to be a pretty good goal scorer. He's number 9 on Hockey Prospect, number 9 on the ISS list, so International Scouting Service. Central Scouting has him number 2 among European skaters. So Central Scouting's come out with their final rankings as well, I believe. And Elite Prospects, as I said, have him at 6th. And now he's at 7th on average. He bumped Rossi down to 8. So, we're going to see where things end up. But, he was a bronze medalist in 2020 for the World Junior Championships. And he had the most points in the Swedish Hockey League by an under-18 junior. Now, for examples of recent guys who've done this, Rasmus Dahlin, Lundestrom, who's currently Ducks property, Erikssonek, and Fiala are other ones. So there's a couple of Minnesota Wild players in there. And honestly, the numbers are fantastic. Although if you look at them from a North American standpoint, you'd say, well, with Jer Gardens this year, 35 games played, 9 goals, 7 assists, 16 points. That's not bad. It's pretty good. He's in pretty heady company. Now at the World Junior Championships, he had 3 goals and 2 assists in 7 games. He is just below Marcus Naslund and Peter Forsberg in terms of players in the SHL under the age of 18 with goals scored. So that's some pretty good company to keep, is right near the Naslund-Forsberg line. And remember, part of what got Canuck fans all excited about Pettersson was when he started threatening records over there. So if the Canucks fell out of the playoffs, if they don't win the play-in round, and if they keep their own draft pick and they used it on Holtz, I wouldn't complain too much, other than next year's pick wouldn't be lottery protected. But again, I look at Chicago and say, yeah, he'd be a pretty good pickup for them. And best shot in the draft. Everything I'm reading is that everybody else, that's great. You've got all these other offensive, fantastic players, but I don't see a whole lot of debate about Holtz being the best goal scorer in the draft. It is possible that we see a team go up at 4 or 5, maybe a team that lost a play-in and won the lottery at 3, that says, you know what, we like all those other players, but Holtz is so good as an elite scorer, we're going to pick him up. So we'll see where he ends up going, because everything would seem to indicate this kid's going to be fantastic. But I would be interested to know what the viewers of this are thinking. How about people from Sweden? How are you feeling about your latest offensive dynamo and to come out of that country and join the ranks of some other pretty solid Swedish star players? And again, just mentioning him with Marcus Naslund and Peter Forsberg just shows both of them were elite level goal scorers. Forsberg's known for the assists and the points, but he had elite level hands. He could score a ton of goals. He preferred to make the pass where he could. And Holtz doesn't sound like he's necessarily that guy. It sounds like he's the one that's looking for the net. He's always getting close. He gets himself open quite often, and apparently excellent on the power play. So we could see him playing in the National Hockey League, I would think, next year. He's 6 foot, 183 pounds, and he's been playing against men already. It may not be that much of a transition to the NHL. Odds are he starts the fall playing in the SHL, but again, once we get next season started for the National Hockey League, we'll see if he's in somebody's roster or on somebody's roster. Maybe Chicago's. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.